Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack the code on something that seems to trip up, well, just about everyone, German pronunciation. We're going to unlock the sounds of the language, so let's just dive right in. So, does the thought of speaking German fill you with a little bit of dread? You hear these long, complex words and think, there is no way I'm ever going to get that right. It's a really common feeling. A lot of people think German sounds kind of harsh, super complicated, or just impossible. But here is the secret. This is the one big thing that changes everything. German is actually more predictable and consistent with its pronunciation rules than English is. Seriously, once you learn a rule in German, it pretty much always applies. That's our secret weapon. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start with the easy stuff, then we'll cover 5 really simple but powerful letter swaps. We're going to meet the unique German characters, figure out how letters team up, and then we'll finish with a quick check to prove you've totally got this. All right, first up, German sounds made simple. And I've got some really good news for you to start with. You already know most of the German alphabet. It's the same 26 letters we use. That's right. Letters like B, D, F, K, M. The list goes on. They sound pretty much identical to how they do in English. So instead of going through every single one, we're just going to zero in on the key differences, the ones that are going to give you the most bang for your buck and make you sound authentic fast.
Okay, on to the 5 key swaps. I want you to think of this as the great German letter switcheroo. These 5 little changes are going to make an absolutely huge difference in how you sound.
First one up is the German W. So in English, we say water. But in German, that W is pronounced like an English V. So the word for water, Wasser, is pronounced Wasser. It's a hard V sound. Simple as that.
And to complete the switcheroo, the German V is usually pronounced like an English F. So the German word for father, Vater, isn't Vater, it's Vater. Just remember that trade. German W is our V, and German V is our F. Next up is the letter Z. In German, it's never that soft buzzing sound we have in zoo. It is always a sharp ts sound. Think of the end of the word Katz, or the sound in the middle of pizza. So the word for time, Zeit, is pronounced Zeit. Okay, swap number 4 is the J. This one's super easy and it's always consistent. The German J is pronounced just like the English Y. Always. The most famous example, of course, is the German word for yes, ja, which is pronounced ja.
And our final key swap, the letter S. Now, when an S comes at the beginning of a word or a syllable right before a vowel, it actually buzzes like an English Z. So the verb to sing, singen, is actually pronounced singen.
Okay, now that we have those 5 swaps down cold, let's meet the characters you won't find in the English alphabet. Don't worry, they're not scary. These are the German specials. The letters with the little dots over them and that cool-looking B shape. Let's just break these down really quick. The A with the 2 dots, it's pretty straightforward. It just sounds like the E in bed. The O and U are a little trickier. The key is that you have to round your lips. And the beta, which is called the Eszett, well, that's just a sharp SS sound. It's really that simple. Let's try one of those tricky ones together right now. The U. Okay, first, just say E, a long E sound like in the word see. Now, keep making that exact sound. But while you're doing it, purse your lips forward, like you're about to whistle. E, U, that sound you're making now, that's it. That's the German U. All right, let's move on and decode some German team-ups. Just like in English, certain letters in German get together and form these little teams that create a totally new and, importantly, consistent sound. So let's look at the main vowel teams. IE makes an E sound, and EI makes an I sound. And here's an amazing trick to remember them. The combination takes the sound of the second letter's English name. Pretty cool, right? Then you've got ow, which sounds like ow, and oi or oi, which both sound like oi. And now, for what feels like the final boss of German pronunciation, the ch sound. But the key thing you need to know is that there isn't just one ch sound. There are 2. There's a hard one that comes from the back of the throat, and a soft, kind of hissy one that you make at the front of your mouth. And luckily, there's a super simple rule for which one to use. If the ch comes after back vowels like a, o, or u, you use that hard ch sound, way in the back of your throat, kind of like the sound in the Scottish word lock. But if it comes after front vowels like e or I, or after a consonant, you use the soft ch, which is much more like a hiss from the front of your mouth. And here's one last little pro tip for that soft k sound. When a word ends in eige, like the number 20, 20,
That ending is usually pronounced with a soft k sound, so it sounds a lot more like ish. So you get 20.
Okay, you've learned the swaps, you've met the specials, and you've decoded the teams. It is time for a final check. Let's put all this new knowledge into practice. I'm going to show you a word, and you try to say it out loud.
Okay, first word, sprechen. Now remember our rules. Sp at the start of a word sounds like sp, and that ch comes after an e, so it's going to be that soft sound. Go ahead, give it a try. It's sprechen. See, you got this. All right, next up, 20. Okay, we have a Z here, which is sitz. We've got a W, which is v. And we have that ig ending, which sounds like ish. Okay, give it a shot. That's right, 20. Look at you, combining all the rules.
And for our last one, let's do a nice and simple one. House. What does that ow team up sound like? Yep, it's ow. So the word is house. Excellent.
So look, the most important point is this. German pronunciation isn't some impossible mountain you have to climb. It's a code. It's a consistent, logical code, and now you have the key. So the only real question left is, what are you going to say first?